Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am Jonah from Discover, and today we have Sierra Nicole joining us. Very excited to have her. Before we get going on anything, please hop in the comments. Let us know if you can hear us, if you can see us all right. We want to make sure that all the tech is working before we dive in. You can also shout out where you're tuning in from, maybe how you heard about Sierra or Discover, or even just something you're excited to learn today. I know I am thrilled for this presentation. Just to set a couple expectations as well, if Sierra is moving fast or the dog comes in the room or you have to go to the bathroom, don't fret. There will be a replay available on YouTube on the Discover event page, and also emailed to you along with the course offer. So don't worry, you won't be missing anything in the long run, and just settle in and intake what is going down. Oh, I love this. Okay, we got Miss Red Kitchen tuning in from Alabama, V. Carrington from Des Moines. That is awesome. From Arizona. Oh my God, Peter is tuning in from Scotland. Thanks for staying up late, Peter. And just I love Sierra. All right. And from Seattle, that's my hometown. Love it. All right. Well, it looks like everyone can hear and see us all right. And why don't we jump in? I'm going to give a proper introduction here. So, like I said, today we have Sierra Nicole, and she is going to be teaching us how to scale your online business to 6 figures as a solo entrepreneur. And something we can expect to learn today, Sierra will break down the exact strategies that will allow your business to scale to 6 figures as a solo entrepreneur while spending less time working in your business. A little background on Sierra. Sierra Nicole is an entrepreneur and social media influencer based in Dallas, Texas. She uses her platform to help others start, grow, or find their small business. Sierra has assisted over 4,000 students so far in 2021. She is also the co-founder of Elite Trade Academy, a vocational trade school in Texas. Without further ado, I don't want to take up all the time, so I'm going to hand it over to you, Sierra.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jonah. You are great. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in today, spending your Thursday afternoon with us to learn about how you can grow and scale your small business or your online business. So I'm super excited to go ahead and dive in. Thanks, Jonah, for throwing that up on the screen for me. Again, in this presentation, you are going to learn how to scale your business to 6 figures, even if you are a one-man team or if you are, a solo entrepreneur. If you guys are watching this live, go ahead and throw down in the comments what industry you're in, what type of business do you have? Is it an online business, e-commerce? Let's see what kind of industries we have. And for those of you who are new to me and new to my content, my name is Sierra Nicole. I am an entrepreneur based in Dallas, Texas, and I help entrepreneurs just like you start, grow, and fund their small business. I wasn't always an entrepreneur, wasn't always a business owner. I actually grew up in Gilbert, Arizona, and I grew up there, and I was in school. I went to college at ASU. I was someone who was really dedicated to their studies. It was kind of drilled in my head. I'm sure you guys can relate. That, education, having a college degree was the only way to be successful. And that's the path that I thought was going to lead me to success. I quickly learned that for me, that was not the right path. And so I actually ended up moving to Dallas, Texas with my fiance. We grew a trucking company here. And that's really where I learned the foundational steps of growing a small business. And we took those skills, transformed them into an online business. And from there, I've been growing my social media platform. You guys can stay connected with me on Instagram at _Sierra Nicole. You can also find me on TikTok, YouTube, pretty much any social media platform. You guys can find me there. All right, so who is this presentation for? If you are someone that has been trying to make $10,000 or more a month within your business or brand, but you've been super frustrated and just don't know what steps to take, okay, this is for you. If you're someone who wants to start a business and maybe you just don't know where to start, or maybe you've already started a business, but you're realizing that it's costing you more time and money than you're making, that this presentation is for you. If you are someone who maybe wants to fire your boss, right, or leave corporate America, or you want to be paid as a full-time entrepreneur or a full-time content creator, or maybe you're tired of internet gurus promising you millions, right, with no real direction or guidance, this is definitely for you. And so I definitely recommend that you guys take some notes, pay attention. You guys will obviously get this replay, but you definitely want to be able to take notes and get as much information as you can. Now, who is this not for? This presentation is not for you if you are looking for a get-rich-quick scheme, okay? This is not difficult, but it's something that definitely takes time to build. So if you're looking for a get-rich-quick scheme, you probably won't like this presentation, okay? Or anything else that I have to say with my content. If you are not willing to get rid of the old ways of thinking and have an open mind, if you want to hide behind your company and you don't want to take advantage of social media, this may not be for you, okay? If you're not willing to put some work in, you want to stay complacent, right? You don't want someone pushing you to get better, then this is not for you. Or if you're someone who just wants to work harder and not smarter, okay? Because this is going to be all about how to leverage and utilize different tools and strategies in order to grow your business, even as a solo entrepreneur, because there's a misconception that, you have to have this huge team, you need this huge corporation with employees and contractors and all these people under your payroll in order for you to grow a six-figure business. And that's absolutely not true, especially in this day and age. As you guys know, we live in the world of social media, the world of the internet, where there are endless opportunities for you all to really grow and scale your business from where you are right now. So some of the key points that we will be discussing, okay, is that online entrepreneurs can absolutely build a six-figure brand or business in 6 months, sometimes even less, okay? But without the proper tools and information or guidance or the proper mindset to execute, this can be a very difficult task, okay? But this is not your fault, because I know that is difficult, okay? It can be very difficult sometimes because there are tons of misinformation that is put out on the internet. The truth is, most entrepreneurs, they actually have the skills to operate inside their business, but they lack the structure and skills to actually grow it. Okay, so that's why I have been dedicated to helping entrepreneurs just like you learn how to work on their business and spend less time working in their business. Now, I want you guys to take a look at this chart. I'm not an artist, so don't judge me by the graphics, but you guys will understand the point. Okay, so if you're looking at the red line on the chart, right, that is a wannabe entrepreneur. A wannabe entrepreneur is someone who has a bunch of ideas, who has a lot of ambition, but anytime they try something, it fails and they just give up. So they spend all this time putting work into an idea, they give up when it doesn't work, and they never end up being profitable. An average entrepreneur, which is most entrepreneurs, is someone who has ambition, right? Wants to be their own boss, wants to be a business owner, and they put in a bunch of time and a bunch of money trying to set up their business and working in their business, that they spend so much time and money that they don't become profitable until a long time after they've been running their business. If you guys don't know, majority of small businesses don't last past the first 2 years, okay? And the ones that do sometimes take those 2 to 3 years to even really see a real profit. Now, an elite entrepreneur is someone who leverages different strategies and tools to work on their business, spend less time working in their business to be able to serve their audience, serve their community, and be profitable right away. So today we are going to be discussing how to become that elite entrepreneur. Now let's talk about this formula. This formula here is the formula to scalability, okay? So if you guys are wanting to make 6 figures or more within your small business, go ahead and throw me a thumbs up down in the comment section right now if you're watching this live. If that is a goal of yours to grow either your side hustle, your online business, e-commerce business, your brand, you want to hit that 6-figure mark. Okay, this formula is going to be for you and something you definitely want to pay attention to. So there are several different factors that go into a business that makes it scalable. Your business must have profit, it must be predictable, and it must have purpose. Okay, I'll say that again. In order to be scalable, you of course must make a profit. Your profits should be predictable, and your business itself should have purpose. Now, in order to have all three of those three P's of scalability, you have to be able to connect with an audience. And once you connect with your audience, you'll be able to convert that audience into paying customers. And once you convert the audience to paying customers, you have to be able to serve them, right? You need all of these components within your business to really be able to hit that six-figure mark. Okay, because if you don't connect with your audience, there's nobody to convert, and you cannot be profitable, right? Then there's no pipeline. If you're not serving anyone, there's no money being made. So these components are really super important, and we're going to dive a little bit deeper into some strategies and ways that you can really hone in on this. Now, I have another chart for you. So if you guys have heard of a company called Lead Pages, their founder and CEO named Clay Collins, he came up with this theory, and it's called the 5 1s theory. Now, if you guys are anything like me, you probably have a ton of ideas roaming through your head at all times, a ton of business ideas. Sometimes you'll think of something, or you'll see something on the street like, oh, that'll be an awesome business, right? We have so many things that we want to do. But Clay Collins in this theory says that in order to really reach, success and have a scalable business and hit that millionaire status, you have to follow this theory. And the theory states that you need to focus on one target audience. You need to have one solution for that target audience. You should have one conversion method, meaning one way of converting your audience into paying customers, one traffic source. And you need to focus on this for one entire year. Now, you cannot have a piece of the pie and not have the whole pie, right? So the 1 year part is something that especially a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with, because sometimes things do not always go our way, right? And a lot of times when we fail, we bump our heads, we make mistakes, a lot of people will quit, right? So focusing on that one strategy, that one audience, one solution, one conversion method, and one traffic source for 1 year. It's a theory that he says what grew his online business. He has actually a software company, grew that to 7 to 8 figures in a year. So these are really important principles to understand as an entrepreneur, especially as a solo entrepreneur and someone who is ambitious and has all these ideas. We want to focus on one thing. Now, one really important aspect of growing your business, and I know it's going to sound super cliche because you probably hear people talking about this all the time, but it's so important, and it's your mindset. Mindset truly is everything. And so one thing that I struggled with in the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey is overcoming imposter syndrome. And for those of you who don't know what imposter syndrome is when you doubt your own abilities and you feel like a fraud. Okay, so that's that thought in the back of your head saying, oh, well, what if I launch this business, or what if I put my brand out there and people find out that I'm not as talented or I'm not as good as what they think that I am? That is called imposter syndrome. 70% of women and 40% of men actually suffer from this. And if you guys have ever felt this way, just know that you are not alone. Okay, people who suffer from imposter syndrome tend to lack confidence. And that lack of confidence will absolutely stop you from reaching your full potential. Okay, a lot of entrepreneurs will spend countless of hours reading self-help books, watching videos online. They may even hire expensive, mindset coaches, but no action is ever taken because of that self-doubt. And so some key factors to overcoming this mindset is to have confidence in yourself and in your abilities by, one, keeping a proper perspective. A lot of people say, oh, well, I've only been in this industry for 3 years. There's no way I can teach someone something. One thing that I always tell people is that you always have value to give. You always have value to give. If you've been in the industry for 2 years, there's somebody who is trying to get into the industry who has not been in the industry. You can teach them something, you can give them value. So you have to think of it from that perspective, is As long as you have something to offer someone of value, something that they did not know before, you can be an expert in that field, in that industry. Okay, so don't doubt yourself. Also focusing on progress and process and not performance. Okay, you want to focus on the progress that you're making and the process that you're going through in order to build your business and achieve your goals, and not on the performance. So when I say that, I mean, there are going to be times where things don't go well. There's going to be times where you launch an online course and you make 0 sales, or you make a post on social media and you get no engagement, right? Things like that can really start to tear down your mental state, and you're going to want to quit, right? So we don't want to focus necessarily on the performance, but focus on the progress, the process. Think, okay, well, what can I do better in order to improve what I've done to change these results? So look back at the process, look back at your thought process, your planning process, and make adjustments so that you can see progress. Also, having guidance and accountability is huge. I know sometimes being an entrepreneur, it can definitely get lonely. Okay. And so that's why I love sharing content about, the entrepreneur struggles and the entrepreneur life, because sometimes we feel like we're alone, but just know that having that accountability, having people around you who support you is going to be huge in overcoming that imposter syndrome. This will allow you to create or have confidence to create content, charge your worth, put that business out there, etc. All right, so the next point I want to touch on is dominating a niche. Okay, dominating a niche. I know you probably have heard of this a million times, but I've realized that a lot of people, when they think of niches, they're thinking of it in the wrong way. So there's a book called 0 to 1. It's a great book. You guys should check it out. It is written by one of the co-founders of PayPal. His name is Peter Thiel. Okay, he is one of the co-founders of PayPal, and he wrote this book talking about how to go from 0 to 1, meaning how to dominate in a market. And a niche is going to be a specific market who have a specific market of people who have a specific problem. So a lot of times people are thinking a niche is going to be, it's, what gender, what age, what race, demographic. It's not just that. When you're thinking of a niche, you want to think about what problems that someone has, what inspires them. You want to create something, what is called an avatar. So it's your ideal customer. You want to create that, and you have to think about more than just where they live, or if they're male or female or age. Okay, you want to think about their income level. You want to think about things like what are their frustrations. You have to really encompass that person as a whole to make them your ideal customer so that you can market to them properly. Now, in his book, he talks about horizontal growth and vertical growth. He says real wealth comes from vertical growth. Horizontal growth is when you follow a trend and there's a ton of competition. So if there's an industry or a business, or if there is a group of people that everyone is targeting, for example, women between the ages of 20 to 30, right? A very broad niche of people that there are millions of companies marketing to that people, right? To women who are between 20 and 30. That's going to be horizontal growth, globalization. Now, I'm not saying that you cannot be successful doing that, but it's going to take you a lot longer. Now, vertical growth is where real growth and real wealth come from. And that's doing things that are new, or technology. And by technology, I don't necessarily mean, coming up with a new software or a new type of computer. Okay. Technology just means something that is innovative, that is new. So when it comes down to finding a niche, do not be afraid to really focus on a group of people who you don't hear other people talking about a lot. If you guys go on Instagram right now and go look up pages that are focused on, dog moms between the ages of 15 to 25, you'll be able to see that pages are able to grow a lot faster. Social media pages and businesses can grow a lot faster because they're targeting a very, very specific group of people and not just all women, if that makes sense. Okay. So when you're thinking of your niche, you want to make sure that you are focusing on a very specific group. If you guys are anything like me, you want to help everyone. Okay. You probably have big hearts. You want to help people. A lot of times when you're an entrepreneur, especially if you guys are on here watching this, trying to gain some value, you want to grow your business so that you can help other people. But the thing that I've learned is that you cannot help everyone. Okay, so like we talked about with the 5-1 theory, you want to focus on one target audience. And once you really master that, you will then be able to grow and spread and reach other people. But you want to start out with dominating one niche. Now, of course, you have to solve a problem with your business, right? As entrepreneurs, we are problem solvers. The problems that you solve will be specific to your niche. That's why you need to figure out who your target audience is first. Okay, there needs to be a real problem and one that your niche will be willing to pay for you to solve. So figure out what is your claim, which is the result, okay, of the promise that you're making. So figure out what problem do you want to solve. And that's why I said when you're thinking of your niche, you want to figure out what their frustrations are. What are things that are problems for them? Then you'll be able to figure out, okay, what exact problem do I want to solve with my business? Next, of course, you want to set your price. Now, most entrepreneurs, most business owners will actually set their price after they figured out what product or service that they want to offer. And that's really not the best way to do it. You have to think about what target audience are you targeting and how much will they be willing to spend to have this solution. Okay, how much money are people in your target audience not only willing but able to spend in order for you to solve that problem? And once you figure out how much they are able and willing to spend on that solution, you will then be able to tailor your product to be able to fit profitably within that price. So for example, if your target audience is only willing and able to spend $100 on a certain product, you're not going to create something that you have to charge $500 for, because then you're going to be wondering, why don't I have any sales? So you want to tailor your product to the price that your target audience is willing to spend on that particular solution. A lot of business owners lose money in this part because a lot of people, like I said, do it backwards. And I know that everyone wants to charge what they feel like they are worth, which is why if you figure out exactly what they're willing to spend, what the solution needs to be, and you can tailor that to fit to still be able to solve the problem, but in a way that you can still be profitable. Okay. Because usually entrepreneurs find out one of two things. Their price is either too high and they don't make enough sales, or the price is too low and they end up overbooked, overworked, and underpaid. Okay. If you have ever been overbooked, overworked, and underpaid, go ahead and throw something down in the comment section saying that you relate, because I have absolutely been there. Now let's talk about six-figure business structure. This is, just a few basics, but I definitely always want to make sure that I go over these things in case there are some people in the audience right now who are brand new business owners, or you're wanting to start a business, right? So business is like chess. You have to start with the end game in mind and be strategic. So of course, as a business owner, you need things like a business entity, right? You want to go and get your EIN number, which you can get for free on the irs.gov website. I have people who come to me all the time saying that someone was trying to charge them for EIN. Just know that you can absolutely get that for free. You want to get your business bank account. You want to have a payment processor, right? You want to get your website together, your funnels. And yes, you guys can actually buy your own domain. I get this question a ton, and actually have a branded email address. So you can go to GoDaddy, you can go to G Suite and get that set up. You want to have a CRM. These are just, like I said, a few tools and a few things that you want to have. I'm not going to go too much in detail because I don't want to hold you guys too long, but these are just a few things that you want to have within your business, especially if you are someone who is just starting out and maybe just don't know where to start. Now let's talk about email and text message marketing. Okay, so this is major. If your social media page shut down today, how are you going to be able to contact your audience? You need to be able to still contact your audience. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, right? So being able to collect that data, collect phone numbers, collect emails are going to be so, so important. This not only helps, you be able to connect more with your audience, you'll be everywhere. Brand recognition is so extremely important as an entrepreneur. And so if someone sees you when they're scrolling on Instagram, then they see you on Facebook, and then they open up their email and they see you as well, when they think, hey, I need to think of someone who can help me with this, you're probably going to be one of the first people that pop into their mind because they see you all the time. Now, a few components that go into some email and text message marketing is that you can have email blasts or sequences. So an email blast is when you just want to make an announcement, or a text message blast, you want to just make an announcement, say you have a new course coming out, or you're going live, or you're doing a masterclass, or you can have sequences, right? Sequences is that constant communication. Maybe you send something every Sunday, right? Giving value to your audience. This is also going to help you build some trust. Also, we want to pay attention to the customer cycle, right? What does that process look like from start to finish, and how can automated communication help? Automating this communication within your business is going to save you so much time. I remember when I first started putting out courses and putting out things online, when someone would purchase, I used to have to go in and actually email every single person individually in order to get them what they purchased. We want to stop spending so much time in our business, because doing that, I wasn't really able to work on growing and scaling. And so once I learned how to automate my actual communication, and one thing I do love about the Teachable platform is that when someone purchases, it'll automatically send them, an email to access to the course or the masterclass or whatever it is that you're selling. So you want to make sure that that communication is automated, because that's going to save you a ton of time. Another thing that you want to focus on are the benefits of your business and of your service or product, and not the features. So when you are doing email marketing or text message marketing, and you want to advertise for a new course or a new service, no one really cares how the job gets done. All they care about is, how are they going to benefit? What's in it for me? That is what they are thinking. So when you are sending out these emails, sending out this text messaging, focus on the benefits. Focus on what they are going to get from this. I'll give you an example. Say you are a fitness coach, right? You can have an email saying, hey, I have this new program coming out. I'm going to give you, 5 days a week of a meal plan. I'm going to give you, 10 workouts for the month, all lined out for you, right? These are the features of it. And someone like me is like, well, I don't really know. Like, do I need that? I'm not really sure. But if the email says something like, hey, I'm going to make this process super easy and seamless for you. I'm going to allow you to cook your meals without worrying about what recipes are healthy or not. I'm going to give you keys and strategies so that you can just go into the gym and know exactly what to do, right? You're telling me what's in it for me and not necessarily the features. So this goes into creating our content as well. We want to focus on the benefits versus the features of our service. Focus on the results. People will buy results. Okay, so you want to absolutely focus on that, and this will help you increase your sales, and it'll help you feel a lot more organic when you're talking to them. Okay, no one wants to feel like they're being sold to all the time. Now, another thing that a lot of people tend to get scared away from, but use humor, use your personality within your emails, within your text messaging, right? People want to know who you are. People buy people, okay? They don't buy businesses, they don't buy products, they don't buy services, they buy people. So don't be afraid to show your personality. Don't be afraid to use a little bit of humor when you are marketing to your audience. Another thing is to make sure that you have a call to action. Make sure that you are telling people exactly what you want them to do. Do you want them to sign up for a masterclass, or do you want them to submit their email? Do you want them to buy a course or sign up for your service? Tell them what you want them to do. Confused minds say no. Okay, so you want to make sure that in any type of marketing, whether it's email, text message, on your social media, that you have a very clear call to action. Now let's talk about six-figure business, okay? Multiple streams of income does not mean multiple businesses. All right, I'll say that again. Multiple streams of income does not mean multiple businesses. A lot of times, especially as entrepreneurs, serial entrepreneurs, we have so much ambition. We want to do a million things at once. But like we talked about with the 5-1 theory, you want to focus on one thing. But just because you are focusing on one thing does not mean you have to rely on one stream of income. Okay, so you want to leverage your brand and leverage your business to create multiple streams of income, not multiple businesses. For example, you can do things like, say you are a real estate agent, right? And your main stream of income is doing deals, helping people get into homes. Well, you can have other digital products. You can have affiliate links with different companies, right? That your clientele is going to get value from. And you can get paid on the back end of that. So looking for different ways to make money within your one business is going to help you hit that 6-figure mark a lot quicker, because you're not just relying on that one stream of income for your service, right? You can have digital products, you can have ebooks, affiliate links. If you're in the credit repair industry, and you can have an ebook on how to do your own credit, right? That runs on autopilot. Or you can have a credit monitoring service to where, you're recommending that people go and sign up for it, and they pay you something on the back end. So not only are you making money from your main business, but you're also able to give more value to more people. And you'll be able to get paid and be profitable in the process of it, okay? So remember this, guys. Multiple streams of income does not have to mean multiple businesses. Find ways to monetize different streams or different aspects within your business. All right, so let's talk about social media growth. Social media growth is an amazing way for you to get your brand out there. So for those who may not be familiar with me, I have a pretty large social media following, about 130,000 on Instagram, 250,000 on TikTok and growing. And the crazy thing is, I gained all those followers in about a year. Okay, it's been about a year since I've really focused on growing my actual social media platforms and giving value. And so a lot of people say, well, how did you do that, right? How did that grow so fast without paying for followers? I haven't paid for followers. I haven't really paid for any advertising or ads, right? Just doing it organically. And so building your social media platforms will help you become an authority in your field, because you can have millions of eyes on your business to help you make more sales organically and build a community or tribe. So being able to add value and to have millions of eyes on you is going to really help with marketing, especially if you are a solo entrepreneur, someone who is just starting out. Maybe your marketing budget is not that high. Posting on social media costs $0 every day. Okay. So growing your social media is going to be key. But posting with no strategy and praying for a viral post is going to be 1 in a million. It's very rare that the very first post or video that you make on social media is going to go viral, okay? Success does not happen by accident. You have to be strategic and you have to be consistent. Now, posting controversial and creative content is going to be key to really getting that engagement and getting eyes on your content. Now, talking about things that people in your industry may be afraid to talk about or may be afraid to touch on, don't be afraid to do that. Okay, being a little controversial, that's okay. Of course, you always want to be true to yourself and be true to your brand, and you don't want to go outside of your values and your morals. But it's okay to talk about topics that get people a little bit fired up. Like for an example, with me, anytime that I talk about having a proper payment processor for your business, people get really riled up. Some people disagree with me, some people agree, but find topics that people get fired up about and talk about that. Also, getting on other people's stages. If you see people who have podcasts or YouTube channels, right, or doing collaborations with other creators, that will allow you to be introduced to a brand new audience. So don't be afraid to collaborate. Don't be afraid to, ask, hey, I would love to be a guest on your show, to be able to really give value and show your face to people who may not have ever heard of you before. Okay, so a more strategic approach to social media outside of just algorithms will allow you to be a viral sensation and grow as an influencer in your field. This will allow you to gain credibility, it'll allow you to gain trust and get in front of more people without having to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on your marketing. Now, as you can see, once you overcome that imposter syndrome, start creating those multiple streams of income inside your brand, inside your business, right? You start automating that communication, being more strategic with your content. You can grow a six-figure business or more while winning your time freedom back. You can grow a massive social media following and influence and shift your mindset. And you can do this in 6 to 12 months or less. Like I said, I grew my social media and my online business in less than a year. Now, this does take work. You know, I don't like to pretend that this is a get rich quick scheme, because it does take work. It does take effort and strategy, but that's what I'm here for. So the first option, in order to achieve this, you can try to overcome it yourself, like you've been doing so far, right? Not yielding the results that you really want, right? You're not hitting that 10 to 50,000 a month, or maybe you are hitting 10 to 50,000 a month, but you're working 80 hours a week. Or you can hire a coach, right? You can hire a mindset coach that might cost you 10 to 20,000. Hire another development and growth coach, might cost you another 20 to 30,000. Hire social media and content managers. That's usually about 30K or more a year. Or the second option is you can get the 14-day guide to making more and working less in your online business. In this, I have broken down, within the span of 14 days, there's 14 videos that you'll get, one daily. I have broken down the steps on how to automate your business so that your communication can be automated. We've broken down really how to do social media marketing in a way where you're really only working a few times a week. And you're also going to learn how to market to your audience outside of social media, but in a way that's going to save you time and save you money. And then, of course, you know, we'll be learning how to structure our business in a way where our business is operating, where we're not just the sole person working in our business. Now, again, this is going to be for someone who is working 80 hours or more a week, but your bank account is not matching the work that's being put in. If you feel me, say I feel you in the comments. Okay, if you are working 80 hours a week, but your bank account is not matching. If you have been trying to make $10,000 or more a month in your business or brand, but you've been frustrated because you don't know what steps to take, or you want to start a business and just have no clue where to start. Maybe you've already started your business, but like I said, it's costing you more time and more money. If you want to build a business that you can pass down for your kids, this is for you. If you want to fire your boss and leave corporate America, this is for you. If you want to be paid as a full-time entrepreneur, a full-time content creator, be a business owner that has this large following on social media that you can monetize, this is absolutely for you. And again, if you're tired of internet gurus promising you millions with no real direction or guidance, then I absolutely recommend that you go ahead and get on this sale for the 14-day guide to making more and working less in your online business. Again, there are 14 days of actionable steps that you can take to transform your business, to start to remove yourself from the inside of your business so that you can focus on scaling while your business is growing, and you're going to be able to service more people and create a business that is profitable, predictable, and a business that has purpose. I see we have a couple questions.
Yeah, Sierra, were you ready to start taking some questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So for everyone watching, we're about to do like a formal Q&A. I want to give a second for some of those questions to drop in there. And I had a couple of my own because you blew my mind at a couple points there.
Oh, absolutely.
But so for everyone watching, feel free to start dropping questions in the comments. We'll get to actually formally answering those questions in just a second. One of the first things you said that absolutely blew my mind was finding out what your audience will pay and setting a price before you build a product. That is so foreign to me because I'm like an ideas guy. So I write down the idea, and then you want to be like, this is $1 million idea. And then you're trying to figure out who the heck will buy it. So my question there was, how, once you have the solution to a problem, how do you go about finding out what people will pay for that? Is that a research? Are you asking people? Yeah. Do you have any like advice for that stage of the process?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So, when we're thinking about who it is that we're targeting, right, you're going to be creating an avatar or a persona,
Hmm.
a person that is your ideal customer. And the things you're going to think about is what is their income level,
Hmm.
right? What are their hobbies? What are things that they enjoy to do, right? Because like I said, we can't target everybody. And as much as we love to think that, we're like unicorns and there's nobody similar to us, that's not true. There are tons of people who are similar to us, who have similar income levels, similar interests, similar frustrations. So you're going to think about that avatar and think about, okay, well, I want to target college students who make maybe zero
Hmm.
to $20,000 a year. That is going to be my target audience, and people who have, a certain problem. And so when it comes to actually creating a product, you're not going to create a $1,000 product for a college student who only makes $20,000 a year. You're not going to make any sales. So you want to think about what position in life are the people that you are targeting. And then you can also do a little bit of market validation, right? With things like pre-sales, or just putting some posts out on social media, asking some questions, do some surveys and polls to get
Hmm.
some feedback from people to see what they would be willing to pay for.
I love that. That's so much more viable and makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we hop into some questions here. It just real quick though, I did want to mention for everyone, Sierra talked about her course, but if you want to access that course, the link is in the comments. It's in the description of the video, and it also will be emailed to you with the replay. I know Martha asked, do we receive copies of the slides? I don't know if that's in the course, but the replay, you will be able to pause the replay and look at any of those slides that Sierra was showing. And also, the course is $100 off for the next week only. So if you want
Yes.
to hop on that, now is the time. But yeah, we got tons of questions popping in here. So why don't we start? I love this question and sorry if I say the username wrong, but AIC54. How do you grow in your field? I feel like my audience loves everything I do outside of my field. They love the dancing and the songs and singing, but educational stuff, it's been hard. It's been a hard no so far. So, do you have any advice in that situation?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have to think about, I'm not sure exactly what field that you're in, but maybe you are marketing to the wrong people.
Mm,
Maybe you're not marketing in a way that the audience that you truly want to reach are going to be able to perceive the information or receive the information that you want to give them. For example, my goal when I started my social media was to reach, reach Gen Z entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs and teach them about business startup, teach them about business credit, teach them about financial literacy. And so I had to think, well, what is a way that I can get young people to pay attention to me? So I started doing the TikTok videos, the TikTok dances, and putting educational information in front of it because that's my target audience. So depending on what field you're in, there may be a certain strategy that they may be more attracted to, or maybe you're just marketing to the wrong people. If
mm,
you want to market in a certain way or service a certain type of person, that may not be your market. You may just have to think about, again, who your niche is, who your target audience is, and do some readjusting on that.
totally. Yeah, let's hop in because there's a lot of questions coming in here about like social media specific. Um, What strategy do you recommend for posting on social media? I know that's a pretty broad question, but maybe even just some tips you can get. I know it's a struggle when you're just sitting in front of your phone every day wondering what I do. So do you have like like advice on how to get started with building a strategy?
Yeah. So again, it really goes down to who you're targeting,
Hmm.
right? Because all of your content needs to speak directly to your target audience. That's why when we talked about that first, you have to figure out who you're talking to because you can't talk to everybody. Your voice is going to get lost in the crowd. right? So figure out exactly who you're targeting. A couple of strategies that I can just give in a broad aspect is using things like storytelling, right? Connecting with your audience. Don't just get on social media and say, hey, I have this business, come buy my product, come buy my service. Give value first. No matter what industry that you're in, giving value first is going to not only help people, it's going to attract people to you, but then they're going to say, hey, if they're giving this to me for free, I can't imagine what the paid service is going to be like, right? So you want to make sure that you are giving value when you are posting on social media.
Do you have a rule for yourself of like a percent of like free value versus actual product promotion, or is it more feeling it out?
So I would say a good like 80% value with 20% selling, because a lot of the times the value is going to sell your products for you, but it's going to feel so much more organic, right? It's not just going to be like I'm a salesman in your face every single day.
Right.
That value is going to sell your products for you.
That's awesome. All right. Thank you. Yeah. Next question. Let's see. Michael, what CRMs do you recommend for a business looking to grow?
That is a great question. So there's a ton of them, and it really just depends on what industry that you're in, what your sales process looks like. If you are someone who is selling like digital products, digital courses, something like Teachable, where you can be able to not only email students, keep track of their data, but if you are someone who is maybe service-based, I mean, there's a ton of them out there. There's Go High Level, Active Campaign. They have a ton of different tools where you can actually track your sales process if you have a service. So it really just depends on what industry that you're in. But one thing that I do, and I actually teach about this in the 14-day guide, but I'll dive just briefly into it, is when you're looking for tools for your business, a lot of times we'll go and say, hey, so-and-so told me about Google Workplace, right? So I'm just going to go on Google Workplace, and I'm going to figure out what they have to offer and figure out how that fits into my business. That's backwards. Okay, you need to think about your sales process. Think about the structure that you want to have within your business. Figure out what steps that you need to take, what steps your clients need to take, and find tools that fit into your business. Okay, we don't want to base our business off of a random tool. Find tools that fit into what we need. So that's going to vary depending on what your business is.
Love that. Yeah. Well, I know we can get caught up. I've gotten caught up before with like you see the features of a product and you think that's what I want my business to be. So you sign up and then you're trying to match it to. Yeah. Love that advice.
Yeah.
I think I understand the question, Life with Austin. What advice can you give on growing my social media when it comes to fear? And I imagine, Life with Austin, hop in the comments and correct us if we're wrong, but I think you mean the fear of like putting yourself out there or using your face to start putting yourself out there.
Right. And that's a great question. Because that's something that I actually struggled with in the beginning, believe it or not. Naturally, I'm a very shy, a very reserved person, but people say that, when they meet me in person, it's like a totally different person than who's on camera. But I used to be afraid because growing up, like I said, I grew up in Gilbert, Arizona. And that's an area of Arizona where there wasn't a lot of people who looked like me, just to be frank with you. And so I really struggled with my confidence. I struggled with self-esteem. I was that kid who was quiet and the one who ate lunch in the school bathroom because I was afraid that people would laugh at me because I'm sitting at lunch alone because I don't have any friends. I don't have anyone that I feel like I fit in with, right? And so going into my adulthood, some of those feelings, they were still with me, right? And I didn't feel confident. And so something that really helped me with getting rid of that fear and getting on social media was to stop caring about what other people thought about me. I said, I'm going to post this, and you know what? People may laugh. They may put mean comments, but you know what? I don't care. Sometimes you have to click post on that video and just throw your phone across the room and don't look at it. Okay. So that you don't go and delete it and get all this anxiety. Okay. So stop caring about what other people think about you. When I first started growing my TikTok and my Instagram audience, I was doing the TikTok dances, not the best dancer ever. And I was putting educational content on top of it. People were laughing at me. They were making fun of me. They were saying I was crazy. But now a year later, I'm almost at 500,000 followers between all my platforms. People are like, oh, well, maybe you were onto something, right? And so don't allow people in their judgments to be placed on you. Just because they don't think that they can do something that you're doing, that's their limitation. That's not your limitation.
Right.
So don't allow them to put their limitations on you, and just know that there are going to be people on the internet who are going to troll you, who are going to be mean. They're going to say nasty comments. But for every nasty comment, there's going to be 10 more people who absolutely love you and love what you're doing. So focus on the positive, and that's really going to help you get rid of some of that fear and some of that anxiety when it comes to being the face of your brand.
Yeah. That sounds like good advice for life in general, not just
Right.
social media. Yeah. Okay. We got a very Michael again. Why is getting a formal payment processor important?
That is an excellent question. And it's a question that I get quite often. And for some reason, this topic tends to rile people up. I'm not sure why. But yes, having a payment processor is super important for several different reasons. When you walk into a Target, walk into a Walmart, the cashier is not going to say, hey, you can send me a Cash App, right, to pay for these items, right? And so when it comes to being a small business owner or, a solo entrepreneur, just because you are starting out small, you don't want to look like this is a side hustle. You want to look like a legitimate business, and having a proper payment structure or a payment processor where people can go and pay for things online. This is going to help you look a lot bigger than you are. You may be a one-man team, but the outside world doesn't have to know that, right? So you want to look a lot bigger and a lot more professional. Also, when it comes to really growing and scaling your business, and you start getting into things like needing funding, needing some financing for maybe some marketing money from a bank, finance some equipment, they want to see that you have a proper payment processor. It's going to be a lot more legitimate. And also, a lot of these like Cash Apps and Venmos and Zells, that's not really safe and secure when it comes to FDIC insured. So, people can scam you. You can get scammed by other people. So you just don't want that problem in your business. And it's super easy to set up a payment processor. So you might as well just take a few minutes, set one up and attach it to your website, and it'll save you so much more time. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I know I'm going on a rant here.
Oh no, go. Yeah.
But you can't automate that. If people are paying you through Cash App, you have to individually, send them an email, send them a receipt. That's too much work. I like to be a lazy entrepreneur. Okay. I don't want to have to be working 80 hours a week, right? So you want as much of the process within your business to be automated. And that's what I talk about a lot about and teach you what to do within the 14-day guide, is automating, everything that you can within your business. But you can't automate something if it's attached to like a Zelle or a Venmo. So that's why I recommend having that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I feel like the IRS is very much on Venmo now as well. So you gotta be careful. Okay, we got a few more questions. I love everyone has so many questions here. Dominique, do you recommend posting content on more than one niche, or keeping momentum for one niche that goes viral?
Definitely a good question. I recommend focusing on one. So like we talked about earlier in the presentation with Clay Collins, he is the founder and CEO of Lead Pages. And he says that focusing on one target audience with one conversion method, one traffic source, right? And doing that for 1 year. So you want to focus on one target audience. If you keep bouncing around and people come to your page, you're not going to know, well, is this content for me? I see one post that relates to me, but now the next post doesn't relate to me. So you don't want people to be confused. I always say confused minds say no. So you want to make sure that you're focusing on one niche, one target audience, so that when someone comes to your page, they know who exactly it is that you are talking to.
Right. And then, do you save those other niches for after you're successful? Then you can start branching out.
Yeah, absolutely. Or if, I would definitely focus on growing the one, and then once that gets going, once that becomes successful, feel free to kind of branch off. But I would start another brand, another page for that. I wouldn't mix it too much because you don't want people to be confused when they come to you. You don't
Right.
want them to ask, well, hey, what do you do? Who is it that you service? You don't want them to ask that question.
Right. Right. Love that. Okay, I think we got like just a couple more questions here. Vogue Affairs. I do wedding planning, and it's very difficult for me to reach ideal clients. What do you recommend on that? I find it difficult to get to my target audience.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're a wedding planner, I'm sure that there is a certain type of, I'm sure with wedding planners, there are different styles, right, that each wedding planner has. So maybe some people like to do more rustic type weddings, or maybe, some planners like to plan more, I don't know, like elegant, very grandiose, types of weddings. So figure out what kind of style do you have. Then you can kind of figure out, okay, what demographic, what type of person do I want to target, right? Am I targeting people who maybe are looking to plan a wedding on a budget? Or am I targeting people who want to elope? Or am I targeting people who have really grand budgets for the wedding and they want to plan this big dream wedding with the horse and the carriage and all that, right? So figure out who you want to target, and you're going to structure all your content around that. Okay. So, like, for example, if you're targeting people who want to plan a wedding on a budget, right? Maybe they want more simple weddings or doing elopements, right? You're going to maybe post content about tips on how to save on your flowers in your wedding, or tips on how to save on your wedding dress. You're attracting those type of people, right? You want to definitely, especially if you're a local business, you want to highlight where you're located, highlight people in that area, but definitely just make sure you figure out who exactly you want to target, because there's a million women who want to have a wedding, right? But exactly who can you service, and that's who you're going to focus on within your content.
Love that. Yeah. Again, it's like working on the customer first, not the product, right?
Absolutely.
That's yeah. Yeah, just two more questions here. I think this one's a little general, but I'm sure you got something to say on this. Why is social media important when using it to market for your business?
Yeah, that's really a great question. Social media is so important because we right now are living in the land of opportunity. At the touch of our phone, we can reach millions, literally millions of people by literally a click of a button. And to me, that is just amazing, because there were years ago where people did not have that same opportunity that we have right now. So we absolutely need to take advantage of the type of reach that we can have. And another reason why you need to be utilizing social media too, as well, is because it'll cut down on your marketing dollars, right? Instead of printing out a bunch of old school type of marketing, spending a bunch of money on ads and billboards and radio ads, things like that, you can just get on social media and post for free, right?
Yeah.
What's the ROI on that is over 100%.
Yeah.
So building up your social media brand is going to allow you to reach more people without having a huge marketing budget. And it'll allow you to be able to connect with your customers and connect with your potential clients. Because like I said before, people don't buy products, they don't buy businesses, they don't buy services, they buy people. So social media allows us to show our personality, and it allows us to connect with other people in a way that was never possible before. So if you're not on social media, I definitely recommend you start coming up with a social media strategy within your business, or get into the 14-day guide so that I can tell you exactly how to do it within your business. But it's definitely a tool that will help you grow a lot faster, because you can do it the hard way and you can bootstrap it and you can go door knocking or, word of mouth. But social media has allowed people to, hit 6 figures or 7 figures within their business in a very short amount of time. And sometimes it's almost mind blowing seeing the results of some people just based on social media.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and just to tag on your comment about the 14-day guide, the last question here, how much is the 14-day guide? I'm sorry, we didn't say that earlier, but yeah, let's
Yeah, absolutely. So it is $249, but because we are doing this Teachable masterclass, and just for you guys for spending the time here with us today, it's actually going to be $149 for the next 7 days. So for about a week, it is $100 off for those of you who have attended this masterclass. So yeah, it's $149, and it's a 14-day guide to where every single day for 14 days, you'll get a video module. And I broke it up into 14 days so that you can actually take actionable steps to
Mm.
improving your business. Because I'm sure a lot of you probably can relate. You've been in analysis paralysis. You've watched a billion master classes, a billion courses, and you have taken no action. Okay. This course is all about helping you take action. So it's broken down into 14 days. You have actionable steps every single day that you can actually implement into your business so that you can really see a difference.
Love that. Well, we have to wrap up here just for time, but thank you so much for giving first the presentation and then spending so much time answering all these questions. I love just everything you were saying just made it all feel so much more palpable to me and more like you can go and get it. So
Oh,
for everyone watching, please hop in the comments. Thanks, Sierra. Call out something you enjoyed learning or something you didn't know. We love hearing those kind of things, or even just say thank you for her time and energy. If you like videos like this, please like and subscribe to the Discovery YouTube. Sierra, where can people find you on social media? I know you mentioned it once, but just one more time so they can track you there.
yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate everyone who has been on here on this live and everyone who's going to watch the replay. You took an hour out of your Thursday to learn about how to grow your business. So I commend you for that. You guys can find me on Instagram at @the_Sierra Nicole. I'm on TikTok as well under @Sierra Nicole Official. You can find me on Facebook under Sierra Nicole. I'm really everywhere. YouTube under Sierra Nicole TV. So if you put in, Sierra Nicole in any of your search browsers, I'll probably pop up. Yeah, you can find me anywhere. Connect with me. Shoot me a DM. Go ahead, throw some questions in the comments of my posts, and I'll make sure that I answer them. I really enjoy connecting with like-minded entrepreneurs and people who are really trying to work on themselves and work on their business. That's why I love, you guys are here in the middle of your workday and you're here to gain value. And so I commend you for that. And I appreciate your time. And Jonah, I really appreciate you. You've been
Of
awesome as
course.
well.
Of course. Yeah. Thank you so much. And before we sign off today, I always like to ask just do you have any last parting bits, like parting words of advice for those folks starting their journey to become a six-figure entrepreneur?
Absolutely. So one thing I do want to leave you guys with is, kind of how I mentioned before, is that you can watch a million master classes, you can buy tons of courses, but you will not see results unless you take action. Okay. So don't be afraid to take massive action. Just know that not everything is going to go right the first time. There's going to be times where you lose money. There's going to be times where something flops, right?
Mhm.
But as long as you have that courage to get up and do it again and keep trying, the only outcome can be success. The
Mm.
only outcome. If long as you never quit, the only outcome possible is success. So just don't quit. Keep going. Entrepreneurship, it is a mountain to climb. Okay, but I promise you, once you get to the top, you'll be like, oh, that wasn't so hard. Yeah, so absolutely keep going.
Love it. Well, thank you, Sierra, so much again. And I hope you have a wonderful day. And to everyone watching, thank you for taking time out of your day to join us. And we'll see you again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you.